In this screencast, we're going to look at how you cite a print book. So I've gone to EasyBib.com and I'm going to make sure that I log in to my account because I always want to log into my account. If I don't, it's not going to save my citation, which would be very sad. I'm going to click Signing with Google. And then when I get in, if I don't see my projects come up immediately right here, then I can always click on My Projects and they'll show up. And I'm going to look for my library research project I created. And I'm going to click on Bibliography because that's going to take me into the project and I'll be able to see the citations I've already created. So I've done a subscription database citation and I've done a website citation. Now I am doing a book citation. So I'm going to click on the Book tab and I'm going to put in the title of my book and I can do a search for it. So this is the book that we have been using in class, The Great Molasses Flood. So I'm going to type in the title, The Great Molasses Flood, and I'm going to click Cite it, and I'm going to see if it'll find this book. Now, I have to be careful here because you can see that I have two books called The Great Molasses Flood, and they are by different people. And I want to make sure I am selecting my book. So let's go back and check. All right, The Great Molasses Flood is by Deborah Copps. So I want the second one, actually. The first one is by Beth Wagner. That's not the one we used. So I want The Great Molasses Flood, Boston, 1919, Deborah Copps. I'm going to click Cite this. And it's going to pull a lot of the information for me. Now, before I say I'm done, I'm just going to double check. So I am going to say I'm citing the whole book because I used multiple sections from this book. So I'm going to just cite the whole thing. My author is, we already found that out, is Deborah Copps. There's her first name in the first name box, last name in the last name box. So that looks good. The source title, The Great Molasses Flood, Boston, 1919. And you can see that it added the title and the subtitle. So I have the whole complete title in there, which is exactly what I want. Now it didn't add volume, edition, or series. So let's do a double check and make sure I am not missing those. So I'm going to first take a look at the title page of the book. All right, so I've got the title page, I've got my author, I've got my publisher. I don't see anything about volume or series, but let's take a look at the copyright page. Okay, and this is a lot more information, so it's a little harder to look at, but I'm going to do a skim through, and I don't see any of that information. So it doesn't look like there's a volume, right? It's just a book by itself. It's not like a second edition or revised edition, not part of a series, so I'm going to leave those blank. Then I have my publisher, city, and year. So remember, we saw that publisher. That was on the title page. Right down at the bottom, Charles Bridge. Charles Bridge looks good. It says it was published in Watertown, Massachusetts. That's usually on the copyright page. Okay, yep, there we go. Published by Charles Bridge, Watertown, Massachusetts. And then finally, my year, 2012. Take a look at the copyright date. There's that C in the circle, 2012. All right, so it looks good. So then I'm going to create my citation. And there it is, all formatted for me.